Okay, so I'd like to get to queries or asking questions against the database. However, before I do that, I need enough samples or enough records so that the queries will make a lot of sense in terms of when I see the results. And if there are any anomalies, I can detect them and then make adjustments. So what I'm going to do right now is a transitional phase in my design in which I'm going to improve the forms that we've designed in the last part. Now, a quick review. Let's go to Database Tools and see what kind of entities we're dealing with and how they're related. So we have clients that can have many transactions, okay? These transactions will have many line items where in each line item you'll have a product, and that product comes in from the product table, okay, where a manufacturer has many of those products. In other words, a product will also have many line items. So that was the ERD, or the entity relational diagram, we came out for this design. Then what we did is we went ahead and created some forms to be able to enter new clients, enter new transactions, update products. But right now I want to consolidate them and create more controls within the forms so they're a little more efficient when I'm ready to put some data in there. And the reason is I want to put data in the tables before I get into the queries, the part where I'm going to do a lot of queries. Okay, so let me close this one. Don't need this anymore. Let me show you what the client form looked like. Obviously, we have navigations here, but I would like to create a button to close this instead of me going over here. You'll see it's a lot more efficient, a lot quicker, especially later on when I have a form calling another form. We're going to have some sort of a main form with buttons in it that will call these various forms for us. Okay, a form of like a switchboard. Okay, all right. So for this one, let's go ahead and in design mode for this form here. So I go to Design View. We're going to create a button to exit. I could put it right here. Okay, so we can go over here, or here are my tools right here, right? So we can pick a button, right? And when I click on that button, what it will do, it will allow me to do a form operation. So I'm going to click on this button, bring it here, and it's asking me, what do you want? In my case, I want a form operation. What do I want to do? I want to close this form. Okay? So notice it has an exit door. We can leave that, or you could say close or whatever you want. And I'm going to move it to the end here a little bit. So let me just move it right here. So if I go in View, here he is, and I click on this, it's going to ask me to save right there. So let me just double click here again. And you could see that I have a quick close there. Can I do another thing? Let's go to the form again. Instead of scrolling all the way down to here where I'm going to click on these to get to, couldn't I have buttons here for navigation? Couldn't I set up some navigation buttons, or maybe below here? We could do it right here, under here. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. So we could do Design View, okay? And I'm just gonna drag this one a little bit here, and we'll insert some buttons here. So let me click on button, and this would be next. So this would be a record navigation. So I would say go to next right here. And notice it's got an arrow. So we can, yeah, that's a nice one. I'm just gonna go over here, and let's see if we can move it closer. There you go. And I want to do another one that goes back. So let's go over here, put it right here, record navigation, and and we're going to go record navigation right here, and we're going to go back. So go to next, go to previous record right there. And notice the arrow is pointing this way. I'm going to hit finish. Good. So it's a matter of lining it up with the other one. Okay. We can test them quickly. I'm going to add some new buttons in there so let's go ahead to form view. Here they are. So much easier to go through my records this way. Okay. Here, that means I've reached the end of the line. Okay. So here I can go as far as I want. And if I click one more time, I get into a new field. Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a button here that says create new so we don't have to navigate everybody? So in case I want to create a new record, we could do that. Or we can actually control the behavior of the form and say on open, go to a new record. So there are several things you can do here to do that sort of thing. So let me go back to design view. So you could on event here, on load, right here, write a macro that says, if you want to do something like this, right, you could open up a macro here and say what you want to do. Okay. I'm not doing this, so let me close it. I'm just going to put a button here. So I'm going to make it really easy. Remember this example. I'm trying to avoid writing code. Okay, so let's go back to here and let's go to the create buttons. We're in the forms. Let's see. The design. Here you go. Buttons. And I'm going to click here, and this would be record operation, add new record. There you go. And I'm going to hit finish. So this one will allow me to add a new record. So I'm just going to move this one right here. Okay. And could I have one that moves back and forth? Well, this is fine. To the end, or one end or the other. I think this is fine. So let's go ahead and see what the design view the form view looks like. Here they are. Okay, so this allows me to add a new record. This allows me to navigate. Okay, so let me save that. As you can see, but if I click here, it allows me to add a new record. And I can type a new record here. Let's say Errol. I'm not sure if I'm spelling Errol correctly, Flit. Yeah, so now we have a new user. And save. Now, if I close this form, let's go to the client table. And sure enough, I have a new record. So I have 10 clients in there. Excellent. So we're going to do the same thing for the transactions and the manufacturer. So let's go to the manufacturer. Okay. So we could do something like that right here, where we move from one manufacturer to the other. And notice here I have Cisco with no products. Let's just move here. I have IBM. I have one product item that I sell. I have Intel, one product item. Microsoft, I've got a couple items that I sell. And those are the only manufacturers I have. Now, since this form is not going to be used that much, you need to really justify if you're going to need those buttons here or not. I'm going to leave it alone. So this one I'm going to leave alone. Let's go to the transactions. Now this one, yes. This one every time, so notice here that it's opening in new, which means it's waiting for you to enter. So unless I go to my clients, so here, these are the transactions that I have already. I can go to my clients. And here are the transactions they had. Okay. So right now I have 10 transactions, as you can see. Let's get back to the beginning. This is transaction 1, transaction 2. Let me see what's going on here. This is not updating. Shouldn't have. There you go. Let's go to the beginning. These buttons here are not really working well, so that's probably a good reason to get rid of them or not use them. And so let me just close here to make sure that our transactions are not messed up. So let's close. Get back here. So we're going to go from here and do our transactions. And if we go to Henry, he had no transactions. Let's go to John Glenn. Sure. John had transactions. And these are the transactions. These 10 here are the clients. So we want to get rid of that. So really, what we want to do is if you select and do anything here, I really want to close this form. That's all. But we can remove this part so we're not confused which client. Okay? Because as you can see, it's confusing, and I'm still stuck on client 3 here. So even this here, it almost has no bearing on this field. So it's probably a good idea to remove that. So let's see if we can do that. So let's go to the form design. And let's see if we can remove the navigation and not make it visible for this one. And let's see if the navigation is in here. Navigation buttons right here. We're going to take it out because it leads to issues. So I'm going to just say no. All right, let's quickly see if that helps. And let's go to form view, and there you go. So no more navigation buttons at the bottom. That way you're not going to get confused. So the only way you're going to use this form is you're going to have to pick a client. Okay? Since this was not synchronized to the previous navigation buttons. Okay? So here, I can go to my various clients and actually do transactions for them. Now, a particular client might have a single transactions, multiple transactions. Let's see whoever has multiple transactions. I don't have anybody here. I can navigate here, so let's see. I had I had 2 transactions. Here you go. So for example, the client with ID 1, which is DrewProf, right, had 2 transactions. Now we can navigate with these right here. So we can leave this here. Here's 1 transaction, and that's the second one, 2 different dates, right? Right there. Perfect. So what I would like to do is simply a button here to close this form. That's all I want to do here. So you can see when you're designing these things, you have to make some decisions. Not everything has to be uniform. I mean, it's nice if all your forms kind of look like each other. But there are sometimes rules that you want to enforce or remove confusion. So you just want to make sure that you're forcing the user to do one particular task with that form and nothing else, so they don't get confused or you get callbacks after your design. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say this one will be a form operation, and it's basically closed form right there, that little door. Now again, you could put a text here if you wanted to. So let me save this. Let's go to view, and here you go. So this allows me to close this form. Perfect. Now I would like to create a form that I would call a switchboard that allows me to select, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of forms right here. Wouldn't it be nice if you can centralize some form of access, like a menu, and decide what you want to do? The answer is yes. You could go over here and you're going to create a form right here. And let's go into design mode. Now, why is it doing this? I picked the wrong thing, so let me just close it. It's going to say save. No, I'm not going to say that. Let's go to create. And form design, not form. Form design. There you go. All right. So with this form design, what I'm going to do is put some buttons in here. And I could put a label on top that says database switchboard, or what is this, transactional database, or whatever you want to call it. So you can go over here under design. You can actually have a label here that says what this is about. You could type it up in here. It's up to you what you want to do here. Client transactional database. Okay, so what's going to happen is that's just going to show as a title here. So if I do a view, that's what you get. Okay, so let's go to design view. Let's put some buttons here. And these buttons are going to have a form, they're going to open forms, right? So we're going to go over here, select the button. And this would be a form operation. And we're going to open a form this time. And we're going to tell it which form. It's going to say which one. I want client. And I'm going to say next. Okay. Open the form and find specific data to display, or open the form and show all records. If you say specify the date, the data, it's going to ask you, what do you want? Open the form and find the specific date. Let me see. You have chosen forms that can be linked. You must have at least one field. Okay, well, let's go back to here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, here's the open form. All right, so right here, we're going to do clients. And let's see what it looks like. You can name your button whatever you want. I'll leave it as command 1 for now. There you go. Now, I'm going to make this one a little wider. So I'm just going to go from here to here. And I'm going to center this right here. There you go. Next, make this a little thicker too. There you go. Then we're going to create another button. And this one will allow me to update products. And really what we're going to do is make it open the manufacturer and product. So we're going to call it form of operation, open form, next. And that would be the manufacturer. But we're going to call it update products. Excuse me. I'll call it products. Okay. Good. So now what I'm going to do is make it as big as the other one. There you go. That's just, you could do a design snap to grid and stuff like that, but right now this is good. Just extend it a little bit. There you go. Next, transactions. So we're going to need another one that will open transactions. And we're going to put it right here. And it will be a form operation, open form, next, transaction. Right, so that was our entry point. And we're going to call this one transactions. Okay, same thing. I'm going to bring it here, bring it here. And just make this a little thicker. Here you go. And then we're going to do another button to close this form. All right, so I'll just go ahead and put a button here, form operation, close form, finish. There you go. Let's just make it nice right there. Okay, so let's save that and call this one switchboard. Okay, so let's run it, and this is what you get. So if you want clients, it opens the client. You can add your new clients from here, close, you're back here. Products, then you can update your products. Now, I forgot to put a close button here. So is it too late? No, I can go to design view here and put a close maybe right above here. Close form. Form operation, close form. There you go. Can I leave it there? Sure, or just put it right here. There you go, save it. Go back to here. Close the form, you're back here. Transactions, same way. We need to close the transaction form as well when we're done. Okay, let's go ahead and do form layout or design view. And again, put a button here. Form operation, close form. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Let's go to view. Here he is. All right, so let's close. Now, anytime you open this application, this database, just go to switchboard. Now you have these buttons here you can click, update all your clients. I want a new client. Great, you click here. You say Frank Williams. There you go. And there you go. So now you've got a new user. And then just hit close. If you want to go to clients again, notice I can scroll through all my clients, but typically what I'll do is click on this. So this typically, maybe I should have a button to search for a particular client, but we'll have a query for that, and we'll have the button open that query. So we'll leave that alone. So how about this one? Products, okay? And this allows us to update our products. And this allows us to update our transactions. So I think at this stage, all you have to do is use these forms to put enough data in your database, because the next video, what we will do is write queries, right? We will be asking questions against this database to get some relevant data that we need out of this database.